Bound in the dust, a cowboy's choice beneath the burning sky. I remember the sting of the sun that day, hotter than I'd ever felt it before, pressing down like it meant to burn me into the ground. The dust clung to my skin, dry and relentless, and the ropes around my ankles cut into me until every breath was laced with pain. That's how he found me, bound in the dust, beneath the burning sky. I should been afraid when I saw him. A cowboy, grizzled, gray around the edges, the kind of man who carried storms in his eyes and scars you couldn't see beneath his coat. But fear wasn't what rose up in me. It was something stranger. Something like a choice about to be made. His or mine, I couldn't tell. My name doesn't matter much anymore, not out here where the wind erases footprints before nightfall. What matters is that I was taken, caught between my people's land and the world that was pushing us out. A band of men had tied me to a log in that empty riverbed, leaving me for someone else to claim or forget. The sky stretched wide, so blue it hurt to look at, and the land all around was empty, bushes dried to bone, hills as bare as the backs of my hands. Every sound carried, the cry of a hawk, the shifting of gravel beneath boots. That's when I heard him. He stepped into view like he belonged to that land, tan duster coat brushing against his boots, denim shirt faded from years of sun, a scarf loose at his neck. His shadow fell across me, blocking out the cruel light, and he sank to one knee. His eyes found mine, steady as the horizon. I braced myself, ready for another man who'd see only what he wanted in me. Instead, there was hesitation, like he was weighing the worth of me against the whole world. He didn't speak at first. Just studied me with a look I couldn't quite read. My throat was dry, lips cracked, but I forced the words out anyway. "Get it over with," I said, though my voice broke on the dust. The corner of his mouth twitched, not a smile, not yet. He pulled his hat lower over his brow and finally answered, slow and rough like gravel rolling in a creek bed. "I didn't tie you here," he said. "But I reckon I'm the one found you. Question is, what do I do with you now?" I hated that my heart jumped at those words like I had a say in what he chose. I'd learned enough to know men didn't ask permission. But this one, he seemed caught between two roads. His hands, scarred and weathered, moved to the knots at my ankles. The ropes were tight, biting into skin, stained dark with blood and dirt. He hesitated, fingers grazing just enough for me to feel the heat of them. "You fight in me if I cut you loose?" he asked. I held his gaze, chin high though the sun burned my eyes. "Wouldn't you?" I whispered back. That made him chuckle, soft, unexpected, a sound like a door creaking open in a house long abandoned. And then the knife came out, glinting in the light. The blade slid through the ropes, and with a snap, I was free. For a moment, I just sat there, ankles raw, blood rushing back into my legs. I could run, but the land stretched empty for miles, and I was too weak to stand. He knew it too. Instead of dragging me off, he offered a hand. I didn't take it. Not right away. I watched the way he waited, patient, not pressing me. Finally, I let my fingers brush his. His grip was firm, steady, pulling me to my feet. That night, we made camp beneath the wide prairie sky. He built the fire, quiet and methodical, while I sat wrapped in his coat, the scent of leather and dust surrounding me. I asked him why. "Why save me?" He stared into the flames, jaw tight. "Because I've been alone too long," he said. "And sometimes a man's got to make a choice that don't make sense to nobody but him." Days passed, and we rode together across the open land, me learning the weight of freedom again, him carrying secrets I didn't dare pry into. At first, I thought he pitied me. Then, I realized it was something else. He looked at me like a man starved for hope, like maybe setting me free had unshackled something in him too. I found myself watching him when he didn't notice the way his eyes softened at the sight of the sunrise, the care in his hands when he tightened a saddle strap, the way silence felt less lonely when he was near. I should ve hated him. A cowboy, a man of the very world that had taken everything from mine. But out there, beneath skies so wide they could swallow us whole, I began to understand. We were both bound in different ways, me by ropes, him by a life of solitude and regret. One evening, as the fire cracked low and coyotes sang in the distance, he finally spoke what had lingered between us since that first day. "You were left there for me to claim," he said. "But I reckon, it ain't in me to own another soul. All I can do is walk beside one." The truth of it caught in my chest, sharp as an arrow. I realized then I wasn't his prisoner. I was his choice. And maybe, just maybe, he was mine. So when he reached for my hand beneath that burning sky, I didn't pull away. I let him hold it, rough palm against mine, and I felt the land itself shift inside me. I had been bound in the dust, forgotten. But through him, through a cowboy's impossible choice, I found freedom again. Not just of my body, but of my heart. And in the end, that's what saved us both. Out on the frontier, choices come hard and fast. Some leave scars. Some change everything. And sometimes, when the dust settles and the sky burns above you, the only thing left is the choice to love, or to be alone.